What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. We're looking here at the 30-year Treasury. It's back near 5% again. And I'm telling you, right here, we have like a triangle being formed where it's the movement as far as the percentages go is compressing. And I believe that we're going to see this hit higher. Right now, there's a lot of people under the impression that the Fed is going to cut rates. We see a lot of pressure coming from Donald Trump and his administration putting out a lot of news articles, kind of attacking Jerome Powell, calling him all the names under the sun, and saying, too late, Powell. He's always too late with cutting of rates, this and that. And so now, there's this hit piece on him about the renovation that the Federal Reserve is doing, and all this pressure is all culminating to try to get him to cut rates. And, the other narrative piece here is that he's saying that these rates should be 300 basis points cheaper than where they're at. So he's saying instead of it being at 4.5%, we should really be at like 1.5%. So, and there's a very, who knows if that would ever happen, but if it did, I think the long end of the yields would spike up, and people would get caught off guard because they're all expecting, hey, we're going to get interest rate cuts. This is going to bring down our mortgage rates. But no, quite the opposite is going to happen. And a lot of people are trying to front run, what they think would potentially be an interest rate cut in September. And no one ever said there was going to be an interest rate, and it's funny because I hear a lot of people saying, oh, yeah, the Fed's going to cut rates. And I'm like, no one said anything of that sort. But there's this lingering narrative that interest rate cuts are on the horizon. And so all these people, they're trying to front run rate cuts because they think the housing market is going to pick up steam and they're going to get left behind. And in my opinion, I think they're really going to be left holding the bag. And once rates go up on them and the value of their home comes down, they're going to be unpleasantly surprised. And so I think right now I've been saying this for quite some time now, that I think we have put in a low, and there's a shift in trend that is happening worldwide as far as the bond market is concerned. And we're now in a period where we're going to be seeing higher rates heading into the future. And I think you're going to be seeing a lot of volatility from now on. And I think that all started with, the 2020 time period, let's call it. And now we're definitely in a different economic order, if you will. The winds of the winds of change have come about, and so I think it's better to acknowledge it, and you won't get confirmation. I think it might be several more years before people really understand what's happening. And right now, as it stands, it is quite the change that is going to come to a lot of people. As far as mortgage rates, they're still sitting about 6.7, right? They've been hovering around 6.7, 6.8, 6.9. They've recently hit this. They've stayed here, so you can see the chart. We have put a low, right? Like 2020 was like the low of mortgage rates, or sorry, 2021. And ever since then, we've just gone up. Like I mentioned, I anticipate what you're going to be seeing is higher mortgage rates. And a lot of people think that the same way the economy has operated for the last 40 years is the same way it's going to continue to operate. But that's just not the case. We're definitely living in a different time period. And folks will realize what's actually happened when it's already, when we're 5 years in. So I expect home prices to come down. There's a lot of inventory. There's a lot of supply that's going to be coming on the market. And when you think about the demographics, there's a lot of the older generation, the boomer generation, is much larger than the subsequent generations. And so, due to people, passing away, or they're getting too old to live in their place, so they're selling it off, moving in with their kids or moving elsewhere. I think there's going to be a lot of inventory. So all these dynamics, it's kind of converging at one point to create the perfect storm. And I think a lot of people are not ready for what's coming. And I think, I'm trying my best to relay and articulate what I'm seeing. And there's a lot of good people showing information. And I highlight their work. Here you can see Amy Nixon posts. People age 61 to 79 bought the most homes last year. Unless this changes, the majority under 50 will continue to vote for wealth redistribution, also known as socialism. Don't like it either, but this is the reality. You can see home buyers and sellers by generation. And this is from 2023 to June 2024. Baby boomers make up the largest at 42%, millennials 29%, Gen Xers 24%. And yeah, you see drastic drop down in that number. So I think what's coming, when you see this spike higher above 5, I think you're going to see issues. And I think it's coming. It's compressing. It's tightening up here, getting ready for that next move up. And so when that comes, I think, it could come any time between the next year where you get a little slight blip, push up. And so we'll see. We're hovering at 4.96 right now. And all we can do is just wait, right? But it takes time for this to play out. But we're calling it now. We're trying to spread the word. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. And I'll see you in the next episode.